Need tools? We've got you covered. Go to ChromebookParts.com or click on the link below to pick up this sleek, portable toolkit. Flip the unit over. Remove the screw covers. And remove the rubber feet, which also hide some screws. Take care when doing this, as you don't want the rubber feet to break. Remove 8 5mm screws from the bottom cover. Gently insert the opener pick between the palmrest and the bottom cover and slide along the edges to pop the bottom cover free. Peel back the tape, and unplug the battery from the motherboard. Peel back the tape, and unplug the speakers from the motherboard. Peel back the tape, and unplug the LCD cable from the motherboard. Peel back the tape, flip open the locking clip, and unplug the palmrest cable from the motherboard. Peel back the tape, flip open the locking clip, and unplug the trackpad cable from the motherboard. Peel back the tape, flip open the locking clips, and unplug the daughterboard cables from the motherboard. Unplug the other daughterboard cable from underneath the motherboard. Unplug the camera cable from the motherboard. Peel back the tape. Remove one 2mm screw from the Wi-Fi card. Unplug the Wi-Fi card from the motherboard. Remove 8 3.5mm screws from the motherboard. Gently lift up and pull back on the motherboard, taking care not to bend or damage the ports. Remove 4 3mm screws from the battery. Lift up on the battery and unwind the speaker cable from its grooves. Remove 4 3mm screws from the daughterboard. Lift up and pull back on the daughterboard, taking care not to bend or damage the ports. Unplug the Wi-Fi card from the Wi-Fi cables. Remove 4 5mm screws from the speakers. Flip open the locking clip and unplug the trackpad cable from the trackpad. Gently cut slits in the tape to be able to peel it back and reveal the trackpad screws. Remove 3 3mm screws from the trackpad. Lift the Palmrest partway up and pop the trackpad free to remove. Unwind the Wi-Fi cables free from their grooves. Remove 4 5mm screws from the hinges. Gently wiggle the Palmrest free from the LCD assembly. Replace the Palmrest back onto the hinges. And replace the 4 5mm screws. Lift the Palmrest partway up and slide the trackpad back into place. Replace the 3 3mm screws back into the trackpad. Plug the trackpad cable back into the trackpad. Replace the daughterboard back into its port slots. And replace the 4 3mm screws. Replace the battery. And replace the 4 3mm screws. Replace the speakers, and wind the cable back into its grooves on the battery. Replace the 4 5mm screws back into the speakers. Insert the Wi-Fi and camera cables back into their grooves. Plug the Wi-Fi cables back into the Wi-Fi card. Plug the Daughterboard cable underneath the motherboard. And replace the motherboard back into its port slots. Be sure to get all the cables out from underneath. Replace the 8 3.5mm screws back into the motherboard. Plug the Wi-Fi card back into the motherboard. Replace the 1 2mm screw back into the Wi-Fi card. Plug the camera cable back into the motherboard. Plug the Daughterboard cables back into the motherboard. Plug the Trackpad cable back into the motherboard. Plug the Palmrest cable back into the motherboard. Plug the LCD cable back into the motherboard. And finally, plug the speakers back into the motherboard and reapply the tape. Plug the battery back into the motherboard. Replace the bottom cover and push down to snap it back into place. Replace the 8 5mm screws into the bottom cover. Replace the screw coverings and replace the rubber feet.